let's forget about the fact that we're on the brink of World War III. Just for an hour, you and I, let's spend some time together, put our troubles aside, and worry about the little things in life, the joyous things like the Hollywood Foreign Press Association and the 77th Annual Golden Globe Awards, which I have a bone to pick with this week. I have several bones to pick with it. You know, man, I do this every fucking year, don't I? I hate that I do this. I hate this about myself. And I thought like last year I had a sort of healthy perspective on matters. I had removed myself enough from the process to just laugh at these things. I remember when Green Book and Bohemian Rhapsody won Best Drama and Best Comedy last year, I found it quite amusing. Obviously, those two movies weren't anywhere close to the best of the year last year, but I just found the absurdity and the chaos so goddamn pleasurable. Because the second you go on Twitter, you know that film nerds are going to lose their shit. And I like when any nerds lose their shit on social media. This year, I was not part of that solution. I was part of the problem. I was yet another film nerd on Twitter ranting about the Best Director category at the Golden Globes. And look, man, maybe it's just that I'm too close to these people. I have too much of an emotional investment to the nominees, and I really loved this year of movies, and I want the Oscars and the Globes and the SAGs to recognize this year as such. But man, the old Nico came back this week in full force. The Nico who at age 12 used to watch the Oscars with hope and optimism, believing that the process was fair and just. And that Nico came back when the Best Director award was presented at the Golden Globes. And nowhere in sight was the mature, hardened, cynical Nico who no longer takes these things seriously. He's back. Here's my point, man. Here's all I want to say about this. I will say, in general, the Golden Globes were fairly amusing this year. And I always enjoy the Golden Globes, especially when Ricky Gervais is the host. I thought Ricky just did an iconic job hosting this year. And it was the type of MC I don't think I've ever seen before at any event ever. Whether it's an award show or a sporting event or a game show or a reality show or New Year's Rockin' Eve. I have never seen a guy with such disdain for the show he was hosting. And I don't think you can necessarily repeat that act every year. But for 1 year, saying fuck off to every celebrity in the room works for me. It works. I just adored it. I don't know if he's ever going to do it again. And look, you can debate his politics or debate the politics of any of the nominees, whether or not it should have been a political show, not a political show. That just doesn't matter to me. I just find Ricky's persona to be so unique and special. And I yearn for the cojones that man has, you know? I yearn for the confidence to be able to go on a Hollywood stage in front of 20 million people and make a joke about Judi Dench's asshole. Anyway, look, why are we inviting Martin Scorsese here to sit in the front row and not give an acceptance speech? You know? Why is Martin Scorsese here if you're not going to give The Irishman a single fucking award? This is what bothers me. Don't invite Carrie to the prom just to dump pig's blood on her head. It ain't cool. Because most likely she's going to kill you all in a fiery blaze. That's what I wanted Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro to do on Sunday night as they sat in the front row like Statler and Waldorf, watching Sam Mendes accept the award for Best Director. Drives me just nuts, man. In a special year for film. It has truly been a special year. Adam and I just did a podcast recapping our 10 favorite movies of 2019, and it was one of the most incredible top 10 lists I've done this decade. I would say it's the best year of the decade, could be the best movie year of the century. That's how strong Hollywood was this year, and you're going to give the award to the director of American Beauty. What the flying fuck? And look, man, I haven't seen 1917 yet. That's a big disclaimer. I haven't seen it yet. It hasn't gone wide yet. It's not my fault. I would have seen 1917 by now, but these assholes won't put it in the theater until Oscar season. So like you, I have not seen 1917, and I will withhold judgment of that film until I see it. But I have a hard time believing it's better than The Irishman. I have a hard time believing it's better than Marriage Story. I have a hard time believing it's better than Parasite. I have a hard time believing it's better than Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. If it is, well then look out, people. We have another classic on our hands. We have another Saving Private Ryan, another Apocalypse Now, another Platoon, all-time great war movie, if it is truly deserving of Best Picture. Color me cynical? I don't think it is. Again, just my gut. Because the Hollywood Foreign Press Association and the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences don't have the most pristine record when it comes to declaring classics classics. You know? They don't necessarily have an unblemished track record. Here's my gut. 1917 is totally fine. And I imagine I will like it well enough when I see it this weekend. But the award for Best Director is more likely than not a reflection of the cinematography and not the direction. Roger Deakins, behind the camera, one of the all-time great cinematographers, shooting this thing in a single take, an incredible technical achievement, an incredible work of beauty. I'm sure this movie looks like $1 million. But Oscar voters and HFPA voters have a tendency to conflate cinematography and to conflate technical achievement with direction. And they're easily impressed by movies like The Revenant, Birdman, La La Land, Shape of Water, Roma. The movie that looks the best, the movie that is hardest to shoot. That's the movie they tend to give the shiny trophy to.